So the agenda for today, or the topic for today's webinar is, why is US viewed as a good destination for bachelor's degree, or undergrad education? Why is US viewed as a good destination for undergrad education? So that is the theme of today's webinar, right? So why do you think Indian students study in the US? Okay, better opportunity in terms of what? So Sarah is saying better opportunity. अब बोलो क्या हो गया?
ईमेल आईडी मैं भेज दूं आपको, उसने ज्वाइन करना कह रहा, मुझे लिंक नहीं आया अभी तक, उसने वेबिनार ज्वाइन करना है।
मैं आपको भेज देती हूँ लिंक, क्योंकि मुझे भी नहीं पता। आप प्रणव से पूछ लो, मेरे को भी नहीं पता।
आपको अच्छा लिंक?
आई डोंट नो, हाँ उनके पास आएगा। Okay, so there are some specific reasons. So, and the reasons vary from people to people, right? Some people may have different reasons. Some people may have totally different set of reasons. So, we have done a poll, a poll among SAT test takers in India. So, we have done this poll, and these are the findings. So, the most important, the point that featured in almost all students in the poll is the quality of education, right? So the another reason is the choice of universities and courses. So a lot of students feel that in the US there are a lot more good universities to choose from, moreover different types of courses to choose from. So that was the second most popular option. A lot of students also talked about the flexibility in terms of like choosing courses, etc. There was a pretty huge segment that we polled. They talked about options available after graduation, so in terms of jobs or wanting to pursue their master's degree. So they listed options available for graduation as as one of their top reasons for wanting to study in the US. Scholarships and funding, some students also mentioned that that in India, there are not many scholarships available, and the top colleges in India are also quite expensive. However, in the US there are pretty good chances of even up to 100% scholarship. So some students gave this also as one of the reasons why they want to study in the US. And interestingly, some students felt that the competition is easier. Okay, what probably they felt is that if you talk about IIT JEE exam, or any kind of medical exam in India, or if you want to go for commerce or pure science, then the good colleges, the cutoffs are very high. So in my opinion though, the competition is related to the choice of universities, because there are like a lot of good universities, close to 100-200 good quality universities. So, and they do not have a fixed seat concept that that only these many seats are available. So since there's no limitation of seats, so these two factors combined, I feel that the competition becomes comparatively less. In India, all of the IIT JEE exams, first of all, they are tough, very tough exams to crack. There are limited number of IITs and lots of competition. So these are the reasons. These are the reasons that students stated. Why they consider US to be one of the destinations to look out for. Right? Any of you wants to add anything else? Anybody has any? You guys, you have any other reason? So the quality of education, the quality of faculty, the research facilities, everything comes under the first point. In the US, it's true that a lot of the universities, they have Nobel Prize winners, Nobel Prize winners as faculty. So you can imagine the quality of education. Lot of the top end research happens in the US. So the universities, right from the bachelor's degrees, are very research oriented or research focused. So it's not uncommon for a bachelor's degree student, a student pursuing his bachelor's degree to publish numerous publications, like research papers and stuff. So it's not uncommon in the US, but in India, just a few handful of universities give that kind of opportunities, for research for bachelor's degree students. So all of it comes together. So one of you have also talked about cultural diversity. Yes, that's true. That's a good point. Yes, that in India, if you go, you would be like 98% Indians, and there some universities have a handful of non-Indians there, but yes, it will be like 99% Indian students. Their universities have 35 to 38% international students. So there will be domestic American students, yes, but about 35 to 40 students are international students. And so you get opportunity to interact with students from different countries across the world, India, of course, then China, Japan, Europe, Australia, Africa. So you get an opportunity to interact with students from different countries, different cultural backgrounds, different personalities, different religious beliefs. So it's yes, your exposure in terms of culture and in your exposure in terms of diversity becomes very high. So so that is one thing. Yes, it's not on the list, but it's good that you feel so. Most of they did not turn up as one of the top six things in our poll, but yes, that's a good thing, right? Okay, so going forward. Now, in addition to this, this perceived, reasons, these are good reasons, yes, but there are a lot of other lesser known things about the US education system. So everybody feels that yes, the quality of education is high, or like diversity is there, or everybody has some in fact a lot of students use these terms in quite vague way. They are not very clear exactly why the quality of education is better, right? So, or exactly what kind of flexibility is there. So the understanding of the US education system is extremely important to further understand, to further kind of comprehend why Indian students, or students in general all over the world, why they prefer a US education in their bachelor's level. So I'm going to spend a lot of time today, in fact the whole rest of the time, on focusing on the lesser known facts about the US education system. So the hallmark of the US education system, or the most important thing about the US education system, is its flexibility. Different types of flexibility. So the first flexibility is in course selection, right? So you can change your majors, like throughout the 4 year of a bachelor's degree. For instance, let's say that in India, if you decide to study computer science at your bachelor's degree level, so and after first year, if you realize that you do not want to do computer science, you want to do, let's say, creative writing or psychology, so that kind of switch is not possible, right? Because in India, the engineering colleges teach only engineering courses, the medical colleges teach only medical colleges, and right now when you are in class 11 or class 12, you probably do not have any information to know the difference between electronics engineering and instrumentation engineering, or production engineering and industrial engineering, or computer science and computer engineering, in fact, so right, I mean, when I was 17, 18, at least I didn't have enough information to differentiate between these types of engineering programs, right? So after class 12, lot of the times students pick a course because they know about, probably they have 10 to 20% understanding of what it will involve. Then very often in the first few months itself, the student realizes that this is not what they want to do, but there is no option to change the major. So let's say that after your class 12, you decide to do BCom, and you join a college for BCom, but if you realize now, oh, BCom is not what I want to do, I would like to, you know, take some computer science course, or I would like to switch to mechanical engineering, so that option is not available. You can make the switch, but you'll have to lose 1 year. So this flexibility is not there in the Indian education system, but in the US education system you can do that pretty comfortably. So while applying, let's say you might decide that you might think that you want to do computer science, but we have seen a lot of our students, you know, once they reach there, they change their, after first year or so, they change their majors to economics, maths, you know, even things like photography. So those kind of switches are available. So you don't have to decide right after class 12 but what you want to do for your bachelor's degree. You can in fact choose your major as late as the beginning of 3rd year. So when you are applying to universities, US universities, you don't even have to say what you're applying for. You can just say that I'm applying for bachelor's degree, right? Then in the first 2 years you can take different courses, find out what you want to do, find out what you like to do, explore your own abilities, you know, find something that you are good at and you enjoy, you know, and then you can pick that as a major. So this thing, the second point, this ensures that you have successful careers. So in India, a lot of the times people don't end up doing, you know, careers or doing jobs in stuff in which they did bachelor's degree. Let's say somebody who did electrical engineering ends up doing software programming for Infosys, you know. So very few people end up having a career in what they did their bachelor's degree in. So in my opinion, that's a waste of time. You know, why should you waste 4 years of your life and not do anything related to it for the rest of your life? So the US education system, because it allows you to change the major, or it gives you 2 years time, you know, to choose your major. So you can take an informed decision about what you want to study, right? What you want to pursue as a career. So you will probably have, you know, a better chance of being a successful professional, right? You can also like mix and match majors, you know. Some of you probably you are not sure what you like. Maybe you like physics but you also like history, you know. I don't know, you know. I had a student who liked maths and creative writing equally, you know. So you don't have to now choose that, you know, you can actually mix, you can do both. You can do a major in both physics and creative writing. You don't have to choose one of them. So this again the facility of doing double majors or majors in more than one course, or if you don't want to do major, you can minor also. We have students, you know, our ex-students who are currently in the US, who are doing, you know, combined majors of computer science and psychology, computer science and economics, business and you know, business and history. So you can mix and match your majors. So it ensures that you are, I mean, it definitely increases your employability. It also ensures that you stay, you know, interested throughout your bachelor's degree, you know. Nobody should be forced to study, you know, what they don't want to study, right? So because you can mix and match your majors and minors, you know, you stay interested in your course, right? So that's and most importantly, of course, it increases your employability, right? So any questions till now? Anybody, any questions? No questions? Okay, we'll proceed. Am I still audible to everybody? Okay, okay, great. Moving on. Remember I told you that, you know, the most important thing or the most significant thing about the US education system is flexibility. So next type of flexibility is the flexibility in terms of duration, right? This is something which, like, in Indian students and parents have a lot of difficulty understanding, you know. In India it's fixed. If you decide to do an engineering degree, it will be for 4 years. If you decide to do a BCom or BA or BSc, it will be for 3 years, right? Even if you like are an extremely bright student, you will also need to take minimum 4 years to do a bachelor's degree. versus if you are a comparatively weak student, you will also need to finish the degree in 4 years. So there's no concept of flexibility in terms of duration. But in the US, you can finish the degree in 3 to 5 years, or maybe 2 to 6 years. I mean that it's in your hands. So a lot of the bright Indian students, they finish the 4-year degree or whatever courses need to be taken to finish the bachelor's degree. They finished in 3 or 3.5 years, right? So when you are finishing a 4-year degree in 3 or 3.5 years, so two things are happening. First of all, you are spending less, right? You are saving on 1.5 years of cost of living, so you are saving that money, plus you are starting to earn sooner, right? So instead of waiting for 4 years to get your first salary, you are getting your first salary after 3 years or after 3.5 years. So you are starting to earn sooner. So your return on investment, or whatever money you spend on your education, you start earning sooner. So that's a huge advantage for in case you want to do that. On the other hand, let's say that you realize that the course is very hectic, you want to take it slow, but at the same time you want to maintain good grades, right? So you can take it slow, take fewer courses per semester, and if instead of 4 years, you finish the degree in 5.5 years. So what is happening is that you yes, you take a bit longer, but your grades are not getting affected. In India, let's say you are unwell, or you are not able to cope with the curriculum, you still have to take the exams. Then what happens is that you end up getting bad scores, your overall percentage goes down, it does not look good in the CV, but in the US you have that flexibility, right? You can if you are not able to cope up with the hectic curriculum, you just take fewer courses per semester. So you graduate with and on your CV or on your resume, when your grades will be mentioned, nobody asks in how many years you did your bachelor's degree, right? So that is a huge advantage. So so there is everything there is something for every type of student. The brighter students, the students who can work harder, or they can finish the degree in 3.5 years. The students who want to take it a little slow, they can finish it in extra time without impacting their percentages. So everybody benefits, everybody gets the best out of their bachelor's degree. You probably have heard that there are 2 semesters. One is called the fall semester, which starts in August, September. The next semester is called the spring semester, that starts in January. Now after the spring semester, there is a short 2.5 month semester, which is called the summer semester. So there are 2 big semesters, that is fall semester and spring semester, and there's a shorter summer semester. Now in that summer semester, it's not mandatory for students to take classes, right? So so a lot of students either do internships or they do projects during the summer semester, or you can also come home. Most of our students, after the first year, they actually come back home for 2.5 months in the summer semester. They need that time to re-energize, in fact. So that 2.5 months you can work hard for the rest of the year, and 2.5 semesters you can take off. So that flexibility is also there. And if you do an internship in that 2.5 months, so you are earning also. Those are paid internships, so you are earning as well, right? Any questions? Right. No questions? Okay. Now academics, again, the whole thing about flexibility, so you are in school now, so you will be probably you took your 10 board exams, you probably took your 11th exams, then you will be taking your class 12 board exams. So on your class 10 board exams, let's say during the class 10 board exams, let's say that you fall sick on the day of the exam. So what will happen? What happens? let's say on the day of your social studies paper, you know, let's say you fall sick, very 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 unwell, you are not able to take the exam, what will happen? Is my question clear? Can you hear me? So what happens, you know, what happens if you are not able to take your board exams? One paper maybe of your board exams, if you are not able to take, what happens? Right, it will spoil your report card, you may even fail, right? Yes, you may even fail. So throughout the year, maybe you are the class topper, you have done really good, you have come first or whatever, you have done really really good, but during the board exams, let's say on one of the papers you fall sick, you are not able to take, or you were just sick and you did not do that well. So your entire year's efforts and good work will go down the drain, because your report card will carry majorly the marks of that one final exam. Am I correct? Am I right? That's how it works in all of your schools, right? Yes, everybody agrees? And it may happen, you know, it may happen that someday you are just having a bad day. No, you're just having a headache, you know, on the day of the exam. It happens, you know, you are human beings, right? So our education system is very very heavily tilted towards one exam. So one major exam is there, and everything, and you can also be the type of student who does not study throughout the year. On the day of the exam, just gets lucky and, like, you know, gets the answers to all the questions and ends up getting a very high percentage, right? So that is also not fair. So in essence, you have not learned anything, you have just got high marks, right? So but the US education system is very 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 focused on learning. It ensures that you learn, not just get good marks. You know, there's a difference between learning, you know, and there's a difference there's a difference between getting good marks and really knowing this stuff, right? So there's a big difference. You may get good marks, but you may not actually know may not be clear with the concepts, right? But you know, the US education system is very very focused on ensuring that everybody knows their stuff, right? So it follows a system of continuous evaluation. So what it means is that there is not like one single exam of 100 marks, you know, it's nothing like that, right? So instead, the overall grade is distributed among various parameters. So 10% of the course may be for attendance, 10% may be for class participation. There is an assignment after every class, right? So 20% of the marks will go on to will be counted towards the class assignments. Every course, every semester also has a mini project, so maybe 20% will be for that project. Then there are surprise quizzes or pop quizzes, you know. So throughout the semester, for every course there are about 3 to 4 pop quizzes, right? And about 5 to 10% go from there. So so what happens is that then, you know, during the last exam, even if somebody has fallen sick or not performed to the best of his or her ability, still your percentage or grades don't go down that much. In fact, you know, because the universities, they conduct their own exams. So it had happened to me once, you know. So I fell sick during one of the exams, like on the day of the exam I had fever, so I didn't take the paper. So the professor, you know, allowed me to take the paper separately, you know, a week later, which would have never ever been allowed, you know, in an Indian university. So because I had fever on the day of the exam, you know, I was allowed to take it 1 week later, so which ensured that my marks did not, you know, suffer. So the US education system is geared, you know, towards getting the best out of students, you know, instead of trying to find reasons to, you know, penalize students, right? So in Indian I have studied in India as well. So here it's like, Okay, okay, you don't know this, this question, so okay, this much minus marks, it's a negative marking. Okay, so this, so but in the US it's more like they will give you so many opportunities to learn this stuff, and in case you learn this stuff, you know this stuff, then you get good grades. It's simple. In India we have got these 3-hour papers, right? Your exams go on for 3 hours, but in the US, in the universities, all the exams are for 50 minutes, 50. So you don't have to worry about having concentration problems, or it's not exhausting at all, right? It's even at the college level, when you go to, if you decide to do your bachelor's degree in India, all the exams are for 3 hours, for some reason. But in the US it's for 50 minutes, so it's easier to concentrate and give your best in 50 minutes than sit through a 3-hour exam. So students, that's another reason why they score well. Lot of the teaching is very, very practical and application oriented. Exams are mostly open book exams. What that means is that you can refer your textbooks or your notes during exams. There are also some types of exams that are called take home exams. So the question paper will be given to you on Monday, and you will be given one whole week to take that test, and then you return the answer sheet on the next Monday. So take home exams. So I mean, and trust me, take home exams are the most difficult ones, because you will, most of the times the answers are the problems are so very application oriented. You will not find the direct answer in any library book or internet or anything, because the focus is it's extremely focused on you learning the concepts, rather than just memorizing and writing stuff. In fact, for all the papers, whatever formulae you need to do, all the formula sheets are given. So you don't even have to memorize the formulae. You are just, they're looking for whether you understood the concepts or not. So at the end of your, at the end of every course, it's almost guaranteed that you will learn it, you will know it, and not just memorize and pass the exams. So you become, and because you are taking courses that you are good at, or that you want to take, so and then you do jobs related to that. So again, it adds to the thing that that your chances of succeeding in your professional life increases, right? By the way, if anybody here, any one of you are interested in research? Anybody has aspirations to become an inventor? Anybody? Can you hear me now? Am I audible? The question is, anybody, any of you, are you interested in being a researcher or inventor? Okay. So Swarnaka is okay. There are 2 of you, Okay, great. So in India, let's say if you want to do research always involves doing a PhD, right? So in India, if you want to do a PhD, so you'll have to finish a bachelor's degree, then you have to do your master's degree, then you will have to do a PhD. So it's pretty stretched out process. But in the US, if you are really good and if you want to pursue serious research, you can skip the masters, you can continue directly for PhD. So your PhD can start in the 4th year of your bachelor's degree itself, right? So this again, flexibility for good students who are interested in research. So that means you're cutting out around almost 3 years, because you're starting your PhD in the final year of your bachelor's degree. That's why lot of on the internet, if you see a lot of successful successful entrepreneurs or scientists, you will see that they did their PhD degree at the age of 21, 22. You might have seen, right? So that is possible because of this, that bright students or students who seriously want to get into research, they can do so right from the final year of a bachelor's degree. They don't have to do a master's degree or whatever. And if you want to do a master's degree, let's say you are not very sure of PhD, but you want to do a master's degree, so again you can start it from the final year of your bachelor's degree itself. So you are saving, so that means you are converting your bachelor's degree into an integrated, MS PhD degree. So the academics, what I like about the US education system is that it makes sure that you learn, every person, whether it's a bright students or the average students, it ensures that everybody learns to the maximum of their potential, and it's extremely application oriented. So it's fun, it's challenging. You cannot like copy assignments from each other. That's like, there's no way you can do that, because every question will be different. Every person often gets different assignments, right? So you end up learning a lot more. So, and the idea of the bachelor's degree is not to get good marks, but to learn, right? I mean, in India, people think that learning and getting good marks are synonymous, or it's the same thing, but it's actually not. Anybody has any questions? Am I still audible? Anybody, any questions? No? No questions till now? You mean this part, the last point, option for continuing on to master's and PhD degree, that point, right? So if you want to do a PhD, let's say when I asked that, whether you want to go into research. So to go into research, R&D, research and development, you will need to do a PhD. So from your bachelor's degree itself, you can start your PhD degree. You do not need to do an intermediate, master's degree. So you finish your bachelor's degree, you start your PhD. Lot of students, they start a PhD degree in the final year of their bachelor's degree itself, right? Is it clear now? Yep, is it clear? Okay, not able to understand. Okay, right. Okay, next one is even more interesting, and very few people in India know about it. In India, let's say you want to do engineering degree, and so is there anybody from Delhi today here? Anybody from Delhi? Okay, so Sarah, do you want to go into engineering? Anybody who wants to go for engineering? Anybody wants to go into engineering? Okay. Okay, Mayur. So Mayur, where are you from? So Mayur, so can give me the name of an engineering college in Mumbai. Have you heard of D.Y. Patil? Right. So rest of you, D.Y. Patil is an engineering college in Mumbai. It is good, it is decent, above average, decent engineering college, right? So Mayur, let's say that, can you hear me now? Am I audible? Am I audible? So Amanka, can you hear me? Am I audible? Okay, great. So Mayur, let's say that you want to do you want to do engineering, and you get admission in D.Y. Patil, which is an above average engineering college, decent engineering college, but not a top one also, so as I said, above average. So let's say that you do very well there. In first semester you do extremely well, you know, you are like one of the top 10 in your class, you know. So can you take a transfer to IIT Mumbai or IIT Delhi or any IIT? Can you take a transfer? No, right? Of course no. You know, this is something that it's like you can't even think of probably in India. Similarly, you know, if somebody from Delhi, you get admission in some engineering college, you know, you can't take a transfer to IIT Delhi or any IIT. Or in case you want to, if you, let's say you want to do BCom, you know, and you get admission to an average Delhi University college, you know, let's say Kirodimal or something, you cannot take a transfer. And you do very well, you can't take a transfer to SRCC. That's clear, right? In India, that provision is not at all there. But in the US universities, you know, you can do that. You are allowed, students are allowed to transfer to other universities. So for some reason, let's say that you do not have good academic record, or your SAT scores are not that high, and you did not get admission in your dream university, let's say, you know. So that's fine, you know, whichever university you get admission in, you know, go there, study well, do well, and if you get good grades, you can transfer to better universities. In fact, you can transfer after the first semester, after the second semester, after the third semester, even after the fourth semester. So I mean, there's again, it's almost like, you know, second opportunity for you, right? Some students, you know, during 11, 12, they're not that serious students, you know, or they become serious about their studies quite late, you know. So you may not have good grades or good scores to get into a top 10, 15 US universities, but once you are studying, once you are like in a US university studying there, and if you do well, you can now apply as a transfer student and take a transfer after your first year or so, and you do not lose any time. So it will be like you finish your 1 year or 1.5 year in one university, and then you finish the remaining in a better university. So that kind of flexibility, as I said, you know, so you get a second chance kind of, you know, to get into as good a university as you want to. Am I audible? Did everybody understand that point? So these are some of the top reasons, you know, why Indian students they prefer to go to the US for bachelor's degree. You may have your own reason, you know, as I said in the beginning, you know, different people have different reasons. So if you have any questions, any further clarifications, you can schedule a one-on-one session with us by emailing at this email ID. So in case you have further queries, or in case you want to talk to somebody one-on-one specifically about your profile, about your chances, etc., then you can write here. Sarah, your question is, what about scholarships if we transfer schools? So let's say you are getting a scholarship in University A, and now you are applying as a transfer student to University B. So your scholarship does not get transferred, right? Because scholarships are issued by the universities. So in the second university, you will have to again go through the same process and application process, you know, for the scholarships. So does that answer your question, Sarah? Right. So as I said, you know, this is the first webinar in a series of 6 webinars. So do stay tuned. The next one is again at 5 PM next Saturday. So yes, Parul. Those of you who don't have any questions, please feel free to log out. Rest of you, you know, I'm here to address your questions. So yes, Sarah, yes, Parul, your question is. So Shivang's question is, can we get financial aid during the university session? Yes, you can. See, very often when you apply to universities, you may not get any financial aid at the time of admission, right? But once you start your semester, you can still, you know, keep trying to get scholarships, etc. And after the first semester, if you do well, you know, in the first semester, then again, you know, you have a chance of getting financial aid. So Shivang, does that answer your question? So Parul, you know, we'll be addressing your question. Your question is, how do we obtain 100% scholarship to a prestigious college? So that we'll be covering that in our upcoming, you know, sessions. So today's session is mostly about the some reasons why US universities are popular among Indian students. Okay, so Mayu, your question is what is a decent SAT score? Now that depends on the kind of colleges that you are targeting. So we have a specific SAT session and university session, you know, in this this series. So we'll talk more about, we'll talk in details on during those sessions. So Tasneem, your question is how can I know the best time to apply for scholarships? Okay, first of all, there is no separate application for scholarships. The admission application form itself is considered for scholarships, right? So there is no separate scholarship process or deadline. I think we are done. So thank you for your time.